welcome back to the Nerdy Needs VGC Midseason Showdown here in Tampa, Florida. We're getting set for game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joe Carlino, and my co-host, MT Chair, finally decided to show up. He was in the bathroom during round number 2. How you doing, MT? Okay, you're doing well. That's good to know. That is very good to know. But are you ready for round number 3, lady MT? Because we're going to get into it very soon, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 incredible trainers. We have Brady Smith and Hunter Braum getting set for our round number 3 here on the VGC Midseason Showdown stream match, ladies and gentlemen. And both these guys are absolutely incredible. As we all know, Brady Smith, VGC Corner, he has been a staple of the Florida video game community, and he is running the Chen Pao, the Landorus Therian, a Sinistra, Heatran, King Gambit, and Rillaboom. This will be our 3rd straight match with a Rillaboom on stream. And on the side of Hunter, we have Tornadus, Rillaboom, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Fluttermane, Golden Go, and Arcanine Hisui. Now on the side of Brady Smith with the Chen Pao and the Landorus, 2 very tough physical attacking Pokemon, with Landorus having the Intimidate to attempt and lower the physical attack of Hunter's Pokemon, alongside with Sinistra with the Hospitality ability, which will heal 25% of any of Brady's Pokemon upon switching into this battle. It is running the Rocky Helmet with Machagacha and Strength Sap alongside Rage Powder to go and remove any potential single target attacks and redirect it into the Sinistra, as long as Hunter's Pokemon have not terrestrialized into the Grass type or are Grass type naturally. And meanwhile, on the side of Hunter, with the Tornadus and Urshifu Rapid Strike, that has been a very good combination ever since the Sword and Shield VGC days, as Tornadus and Urshifu with the Prankster Rain Dance alongside the Urshifu Rapid Strike just going very hard, with the Mystic Water boosted Surging Strikes, Aqua Jet, and now with the ability to terrestrialize into a Water type alongside it, this Urshifu Rapid Strike will be doing major damage to almost every one of Brady's Pokemon. But also with a Rillaboom on Hunter's side, it is another Assault Vest set with Fake Out, Woodhammer, Grassy Glide, and U-Turn. So it'll be a very interesting Rillaboom on the side of Hunter. And Arcanine Hisui is another Will-O-Wisp setter, which, as we saw in round number 2, is effective on a physical attacking team such as Brady Smith, or in the case of round number 2, Matt Stevenson. And also on Hunter's side, 2 of the strongest Ghost-type Pokemon in the Paldea region. We have the Fluttermane, which is rocking Booster Energy with Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Protect, alongside that Booster Energy to activate Photosynthesis on the first turn it switches out, which is important to note if it's special attack or if it's speed, as both its special attack and its speed stats are base 135. So it all depends on what nature is selected on the side of Hunter Braum. And meanwhile, the Golden Go is running the Choice Specs variant of Golden Go, as those Make It Rains with the Choice Specs alongside a Steel Terra type just do major damage to any Pokemon, regardless of the type matchup. Even through Resist, it still hurts, alongside Shadow Ball, Steel Beam, and Thunderbolt. Steel Beam is essentially that, break glass in case of emergency move, but when it breaks that glass, it's Stone Cold break glass. As we see, game number 1 is starting with Brady and Hunter. Brady leads with King Gambit and Rillaboom, which activates the grassy terrain on turn number 1. Meanwhile, Hunter leads with the Urshifu Rapid Strike and the Fluttermane, and Fluttermane's Booster Energy activates Special Attack Fluttermane, which is very impressive on the Fluttermane, as this Pokemon is now going to hit very hard with any of its moves on any of Brady's Pokemon from the special attacking side. see Hunter thinking long and hard about what he wants to do in this first turn. Meanwhile, Brady rocking the Santa hat today as it is the holiday season. As we do see Urshifu Rapid Strike switch out, and in comes Whirlwindy, that is the Tornadus incarnate. And Hunter goes for the Terrastalization into the Terra Fairy Fluttermane. And Fluttermane with the Terra Fairy Crown is now powering up its Fairy type moves even more, but we see the Fake Out come into the Tornadus slot, which takes Rocky Helmet damage, and the Fluttermane ends up going for the Dazzling Gleam. And it does well over 50% to Brady's King Gambit and the Rillaboom. But the grassy terrain does allow for King Gambit and Rillaboom to gain a little bit of passive recovery at the end of this turn. Meanwhile, Fluttermane with that Terra Fairy, we've seen it go, ladies and gentlemen. It just does massive amounts of damage. It essentially hit your opponents first, ask questions next. We do see Hunter thinking long and hard about whether or not he wants to go for the Dazzling Gleam. We do see a switch out on the side of Brady into the Sinistcha, which brings up the Hospitality, and King Gambit does get 25% of its HP returned, and Brady ends up going for a Terrastalization of his own in the King Gambit. The King Gambit is becoming very toxic, ladies and gentlemen, as it is Terrastalized into a Poison type. And now this King Gambit, a +2 Sucker Punch, has knocked out the Tornadus. The Tornadus is now down on the side of Hunter Braum. And this Terra Fairy Dazzling Gleam from Fluttermane, it does good damage on both Pokemon, even through the resist on King Gambit. You see Urshifu come back out onto the field for Hunter Braum. Meanwhile, this Fluttermane is thinking long and hard about what it wants to do for Hunter's team. Alongside, we're looking at Brady's team. All three of his Pokemon that have seen the battle, ladies and gentlemen, are currently under 50% health. However, he still has one Pokemon left at full health, which could pay dividends in the end game of game number 1. We do see a switch out on the side of Brady into Pale Index, which is the Shenpao. The Sword of Ruin is now activated. Sucker Punch in the King Gambit, and it knocks out the Fluttermane. Fluttermane is down. That Sword of Ruin with the King Gambit at +2 attack as the Surging Strikes comes out on the King Gambit. So as King Gambit takes down the Fluttermane, Urshifu Rapid Strike takes down the King Gambit. So both Brady Smith and Hunter Braum no longer have their Terrastalization for the remainder of this battle, as we do see She Money the Golden Go come out here, and Rillaboom comes back out on the side of Brady Smith. Rillaboom go for the fake out into the Urshifu, and Shenpao goes for the Sucker Punch. Golden Go lives! That is huge, as this Make It Rain comes out, and the Shenpao lives on the Focus Sash, bringing it down to Focus Sash, which makes it only at 1 HP. However, the Rillaboom does faint due to that Make It Rain, but with the Grassy Terrain recovery, that is very big, ladies and gentlemen, as Sinistcha and Shenpao are left on the field for Brady Smith, and Golden Go and Urshifu Rapid Strike are on the field for Hunter Braun, but the hospitality comes out on the side of Brady Smith, which allows Chen Pao a little bit more recovery. And also, ladies and gentlemen, this Sinistra, it does have Rage Power, but Sucker Punch comes out on the side of Chen Pao, which knocks out the Golden Go. And Hunter Braun ends up going into the Sinistra slot here. 2 critical hits, it's taking Rocky Helmet damage alongside it. Will this one be enough? It is not enough. The 3 critical hits with the Sword of Ruin is just not enough to knock out this Sinistra, and it goes for the Strength Sap, which lowers Urshifu's attack by 1 stage, but recovers Sinistra's HP by the stat of Urshifu's attack, which is major for Brady Smith, as now this Urshifu is -1 attack alongside the Sinistra at full health, but the battle has been conceded. Hunter Braun concedes his battle. Brady Smith takes the first game of this round number 3. With Sinistra coming in late and providing that hospitality for the Chen Pao and for the King Gambit, that was very impressive on the side of Brady Quinn. The Terra Poison on the King Gambit, it was amazing that even through the Terra Fairy, it was still taking over 50% HP from that Dazzling Gleam. If that was Moonblast, I shudder to think what kind of damage would have happened on King Gambit. It potentially could have even went down, in theory, ladies and gentlemen. But now Hunter Braun has to think long and hard about what he wants to do for Brady's team, as Brady's team is still very, very scary. And it remains to be seen that if they're going to make any switches up, because Brady's team, that lead was very impressive. Having Sinistra in the back was effective at getting him some very good, very clutch recovery at times that he needed it. And meanwhile, a Terrassalization on Fluttermane to live a Sucker Punch ended up not mattering, because the Sword of Ruin was enough to help King Gambit's +2 Sucker Punch do enough to knock out the Fluttermane from full. But now it remains to be seen, will Hunter Braun be able to force a game number 3, or will Brady Smith go to 3-0? And we see a switch on the side of Hunter Braun as he leads with Fluttermane and with Golden Go against Brady Smith's Rillaboom and King Gambit, which is the same lead for Brady from game number 1. See Rillaboom switch out on turn number 1 here into the Heat Trance. We see a Terrassalization come out turn number 1 on the side of Hunter Braun. The Golden Go is Terrassalizing into a Terra Steel Golden Go with the Choice Specs. If it went for a Steel type move, this is going to hurt both of Brady's Pokemon, even through the resisted damage. The King Gambit ends up going for the Protect. And Golden Go goes for the Make It Rain with the Terra Steel and the Choice Specs. This Heatran will be taking not a lot of damage because of the 4 times resisted hit, but it gets recovery with the Leftovers and the Grassy Terrain. Right now, Brady is doing very well in terms of getting his Pokemon set up, and Hunter is trying to think about what he wants to do in this next turn, as now that his Terrassalization has been used, he switches out Fluttermane here, and leaves Golden Go in, brings in the Urshifu, King Gambit ended up going for Sucker Punch into the Flutter Mane slot. It fails. Golden Gun goes for the Make It Rain. And through the resists and the special attack drops, it is not very effective, but a Magma Storm comes out from the Heatran, and Golden Go goes down. That is a one-hit knockout, ladies and gentlemen. And Golden Go is down. The terrestrialization is done on the side of Hunter Braum. And Flutter Mane comes back out onto the field for Hunter Braum's team. Which leads to be seen, what is the Urshifu and the Flutter Mane going to do in the face of this King Gambit and the Heatran. Both Pokemon are going very effective on either side for Brady Smith, and he is taking firm control of this game number 2. As you see a terrestrialization come out on the side of Brady Smith, it is the Heatran, and this Heatran is starting to bloom as it is terrestrialized into a grass type. So now Surging Strikes will go from being super effective on the Heatran to not very effective, as we see a Moonblast and Surging Strikes combination into the King Gambit slot. And King Gambit goes down. Meanwhile, Heatran goes for the Magma Storm into the Urshifu and traps it by swirling magma. Urshifu takes that Magma Storm damage. Meanwhile, Heatran gets recovery from the grassy terrain as Rillaboom returns onto the field. Now, Hunter Braum is trying his best to potentially go after Brady's Pokemon while being able to figure out how to come back and force a game number 3. He is doing very impressive at it. Grassy Glide comes out. Rillaboom ends up knocking out Urshifu in one strike by virtue of the damage that Urshifu had already taken. Meanwhile, that Moonblast bounces off of Rillaboom thanks to its Assault Vest, and the Heatran goes for the Flash Cannon, which is super effective on Flutter Mane by virtue of it being a Fairy type. Meanwhile, Arcanine comes out on the side of Hunter Braum, which lowers the attack power of the Heatran and the Rillaboom. Rillaboom goes for the Grassy Glide. It is enough to knock out Flutter Mane. Arcanine goes for the Rock Slide, attempting to get a flinch on the Heatran. Heatran does not flinch. It goes for the 4-time super effective Earth Power, and that is a one-hit knockout. And Brady Smith wins this game number 2, moves to 3-0 with 2 one-hit knockouts in game number 2. Heatran just turned up the heat in this battle, allowing Brady to move to 3-0 in this best of 3 Swiss. So now Brady Smith moves to 3-0, which was his record yesterday against Joshua Lorsi in the Exhibition Regulation F battles that we saw on Twitch last night. And he moves to 3-0 in these Swiss rounds here at the VGC Midseason Showdown. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that was just another dominating performance by Brady. Not seeing any Landorus come out from his side, which was impressive. Chen Pao honestly needed little to no effort in this game. Sinistcha was clearly the MVP in game number 1. And then Heatran honestly just turned out the heat in game number 2. Being able to knock out that Golden Go in one shot from the Magma Storm risking the accuracy, of course, but getting that knockout was incredible, not flinching to the Hisuian Arcanine with the Rock Slide and getting that Earth Power out to finish the job afterwards was absolutely incredible, ladies and gentlemen. So now Brady Smith moves to 3-0 in the Swiss rounds. Empty Chair probably has some empty thoughts, if I had to guess, for why this battle was everything that we expected and more, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, Hunter Braun falls to 1-2. He still has a shot at the top 4 cut, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking forward to seeing what is going to happen in round number 4, and we will see you guys back with that momentarily.